Assalamu alaikum to all of you, and welcome to our another amazing episode of my podcast. I am your host Fahad AI Wala, and I am student at Rehan School Online Academy. So, welcome to Fahad's Journey Talk, where we dive into uh, professional and personal journeys of our amazing guests who came to our podcast and uh, who grant me these opportunities to explore their amazing life journeys. So today I'm very delighted to have Mrs. Sandy on my podcast. She is an amazing and kind lady. She is hosting a podcast named Happiness Solved, and she is also managing some businesses. So, we are going to explore her professional and personal life journeys. So, hello, Mrs. Sandy. How are you? And welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, Fahad. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
So, can you please introduce yourself for the viewers so they can get to know you more better?
Sure, absolutely. I'm Sandee Sgarlata. I live in Virginia, west of Washington, D.C. I've been in this area my entire life. I'm married. I have a son who's 24, who just graduated from college this year. And yeah, so I started a podcast called Happiness Solved, and it is I launched it in conjunction with my second book, which is the same name, Happiness Solved. And so let's see, episode 350 was released yesterday, which was a big milestone for the show. Yes. And it's doing really well. And so now I am, just by launching a podcast, it's opened up a lot of doors for me. I now am the managing director for the Los Angeles Tribune Global Podcast Network, and I train experts to launch their podcasts. And then I also work with experts to help them expand their brand using media. And as a peak performance expert, I've been a certified coach for 20 years now. And I'm a retired US national and international figure skating coach. I have a gold medal in ice dancing, and I'm an athlete. And I'm launching a second podcast called Peak Performance Playbook, where I'm going to be diving into the mindset when it comes to peak performance and that side of peak performance, and talking with athletes and other leaders on how they perform at their best. So that's just a little bit about me.
Amazing, brilliant. And you know that I'm a big fan of Los Santos uh, Tribune, and I'm following this from previous 2 months as Mrs. Karen Boyles, who was interviewed by me. She informed me about this, and I always try to watch all episodes
Yeah.
that are uploaded or that will going to be uploaded. So this is amazing. First, I'm curious to explore this term, happiness solved.
Mhm.
Means what it is, what is the reason, what is the purpose behind this, what is the story behind this, why you named this to your podcast as well as to your book.
So that's a great question. And I think the big thing for me is that I've been on this journey for over 35 years. Okay. And that journey has been all about every day waking up and wanting to find happiness in my life. Okay. And because I've been through a lot, right? We all have our stories. And as you know, Fahad, you're just a young man right now, but you'll learn, in life, you've always got a choice, right? You can either choose they say the glass half full or the glass half empty, right? And so that's kind of has always just been my passion in life is learning how to be a better person and wanting to be a better person. I had a lot of childhood trauma in my life. Um, even though you know, there's a saying, I don't know if you've heard it, but we say it over here a lot in the United States. We're like, oh, first world problems, right? And I think that's what people think about, Americans. Oh yeah, we've got it so great. But yeah, we may have, great external circumstances. However, we all have um, things that we're dealing with in life. And so for me, I've just been on this quest to figure out, no matter what's going on in my life, choose happiness, right? Because it's a choice. So back in 2019, when I was taking my son to college, um, I think that for so many years, I was a single mother as well. And so for so long, everything is just about your child, right? And raising that's how it was for me. It was just, raising my son. And I just realized that I had become very, very disappointed, very disappointed, disgusted, angry, at the world and how everybody is so divided, especially here in the United States. And there's just no point to that, right? We're all connected, right? We're all connected. We're all branches of the same tree trunk, right? And so that's when I started writing this book, and it's a mini memoir. So I tell my story. There's just 4 chapters about my story and the trauma that I've experienced in my life. And then it's a self-improvement book, and then it's a workbook. So it was just really my way of just kind of saying, things have to change in the world, you know, and happiness is a journey. It's not a destination, it's a journey. And every day we have a choice. It doesn't matter what circumstances you're faced with. You can either choose happiness, or you can choose to be miserable, right? There's 2 major emotions. You've got fear and you have love. And at any given time you can choose either one, right? And so that's what it's about. So solving happiness is very, very simple. It's literally a choice. It's just a choice that you have to make. So yeah.
Amazing. The story behind this amazing term is really inspirational and really amazing. Love to hear from you. So, and as well as, what is Los Santos Tribune? Who made this amazing networking channel? Can you give an overview, a short overview about this channel?
Well, the Los Angeles Tribune is a newspaper that has been around since the late 1800s. So it's actually a newspaper that it's now changed, and it's all digital primarily. It's a digital newspaper. Um, and so the big thing about that is the Los Angeles Tribune is all about spreading good news and positive news and helping people and lifting people up and expanding their knowledge. So that's really what the LA Tribune stands for today.
Amazing. This is amazing. I really don't know that it is a newspaper and now it is converted into an amazing channel where amazing podcasters are doing amazing podcasts with different guests. This is amazing. So, how you got started as a life coach and author?
So I started, well, I'm a retired figure skating coach. So I've been a coach my whole life. So I coached competitive figure skating. And when my son was little, I just decided to retire from coaching figure skating. And because it's just in my nature to help other people, I just started. I had already been doing it. I just decided to make a profession out of it, got certified, and yeah, so that was back in 2003 was when I started the journey. I got certified in 2004. And since then I've just been working with people, and um, it's just one of those things that when you have the knowledge to share, and you want to help others so that they can change their perception and see things differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And as
That's
far
really
as you asked me
fantastic.
also about being an author, my first book um, was published in 2009, and it's a novel for young adult. It's a young adult fiction novel, and it's not in print any longer. The publisher went out of business. But the second book, it's a series. It was designed to be a series. The second book was finished in 2010, but it was never published. So my goal is sometime in the next year or two is to put those two together, finish the series, wrap it up, and then get it republished. Because it's a really good story. It's a really great story. So that just kind of happened. I never really was a writer in school. I never really planned on writing a book. It just kind of happened, and I kind of joke that I felt like it was downloaded, like it was a download that I just sat in front of my computer and started typing, and it just came out. And so, what I learned from that experience is that there's a story inside of all of us, right? And we just have to put the words onto paper and tell your story. You don't have to have formal training to be a writer. It's just, you know, yeah. So,
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's really amazing. So I am watching that many people are writing books who has a diverse, amazing journeys like you, written a book, Mrs. Karen, and of the many of the guests who came to the show. Means majority of the guests has written many books. So what is this thing? Why people use to write the books? What is the purpose behind writing the books? What is the mindset of the author when he is writing the book or she is writing the book?
so, you know, humans have always learned through storytelling, right? We've been telling stories ever since humans first walked the earth. In the ancient caves, you see the writings on the walls. Those are all stories. Okay. And so people love to tell a story. And I think what it comes down to, Fahad, is that people want to share their stories because we have this innate desire within us to help other people. And we feel like, I want to tell this story because it'll help somebody else, whether it'll help somebody feel better so that they don't have to go down the path that I took, or here's the recipe on how to do it. You know, here's how to find happiness. Just read the book. You'll find out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just we want to help other people, and I think that's why people write a book. They have a story to tell, and any author that writes a book, they all think they're going to be the next big time New York Times best-selling author. Everybody thinks that their book is going to be the best, right? Because you think it's so good and you believe in yourself, and it's just a wonderful medium, and it's a great um, if you have any sort of skill set or you're an expert in anything, and you're starting a business, having a book is like a business card. Like, it's really good for your credibility. So if you want to coach, or you want to, no matter what it is, by having a book, it just gives you more credibility. So I think that's also the reason why a lot of people want to write a book. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing purpose, and this this type of thing is really uh, coming to the mind again and again, and I was shocking that many people are writing books. And the second thing is that in this era, as you know, that this is a technology era. This is a computer and electronic devices era. So in this era, people are too far from these type of stuffs, from books, from newspapers. Now pupils are just go to the laptop, just open the TV and just watching the live news. So what you would like to say about this? What are the benefits of reading or writing a book?
So, that there's two different questions you asked there. The benefits of I just mentioned the benefits of writing a book. So if you have a business, the benefits of writing a book would be it's a good tool for you to have. Um, that you can have your clients read it, and it gives you it's another credential. So that's the business side of it. The reading side is that, again, people love stories, and the written word is, I don't believe it's ever going to go away. Um, People learn by reading books, and that's why you read a book. You expand your knowledge, you expand your vocabulary, you you're taken to, just like when you're watching a movie, when you're reading a book, it's the same thing, but it's better, right? Like, for anybody out there listening, if you've never read a novel, like, pick up a really good book and read it. It's so much better than watching it on television because you're stimulating your brain, and it's just, I think it's just so much better,
Exactly.
and it's the best way to learn and to educate yourself.
Amazing. It's personally my experience that I try to read the books. I try to use to read the books because it really gives us a best so many benefits,
Mhm.
like our reading skills, our speaking skills will be, you know, more improved. Okay, so what would you define happiness, and why do you believe it's something that can be solved?
Well, happiness is a state of joy, right? It's hope, it's joy, it's peace, it's love. It's a state of consciousness, okay? And again, as I said earlier, there's two main emotions. You've got love and fear. And when you take those to another level, love is consciousness and fear is ego, okay? And so that's for me, that's what happiness is. It's a state of being, and it's a much better alternative than being miserable, right? Like, who wants to feel miserable? Nobody wants to. Um so yeah, so that's anybody can be happy. It doesn't matter. It's a state of mind, it's a state of being. And if you are feeling anything other than peace in your heart, you're the one to blame. It's all on you, right? You're responsible. Doesn't matter who's done things to you. It's your responsibility. You own how you feel. And if you're not feeling good, it's nobody else's fault than yourself, because you own that. So it's as simple as that.
Exactly, exactly. This is amazing definition of the happiness I ever listened. So, and this is also an inner thing, means it comes to the inner soul. Means many people try to make more and more money to become happy, to feel happy in their lives. But sometimes money also can't provide happiness. So what would you say about this? What is the real happiness?
So real happiness comes from within. I mean, it's something that everybody's going to define differently. Um, you talked about money. While money can't buy you happiness, money can is an essential part of our existence that we have to have. And I'd rather have, having money is, it doesn't make you happy, but it makes you comfortable. That's for sure. It can keep you comfortable. But no, people, you know, so many people think, well, as soon as I have enough money in the bank, I'll be happy, or when I have that perfect job, I'll be happy, or if I meet that romantic partner in my life, I'll be happy. But see, all of those things are out here, they're external. And external things cannot make you happy. It has to come from within. So you can chase all the other things you want out there, but until you recognize that happiness comes from within, it's all up here. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was amazing. Money makes you comfortable, money can't provide you happiness. That was really amazing. So, what are some common myths about happiness that you've encountered in your coaching practice?
Common myths.
Yeah,
Did you ask me what the myths, common myths? You
yeah,
know, I think that I don't know about myths. Yeah, I don't know that yeah, I'm not sure that myths is the right. I think the um, common traits that people need to work on. I can tell you that. I don't know that there's any myths because happiness is it's an inside job. There's no really myths about it. Um, but I can tell you that most of the people who I work with, the number one issue that they need to work on is confidence. And it's the confidence that keeps them, the lack of confidence that keeps them from truly experiencing happiness. So,
okay, okay, that was amazing. So, as a podcaster, this is amazing, and I forgot to congrats you. Congratulations that you mentioned that you have completed 350 episodes of your podcast. So many congratulations.
thank
So
you.
in this amazing podcasting journey, what are the things that you have learned or you have observed about many guests that are interviewed by you?
Oh, wow. See, I interview people from all walks of life, from so many different professions. And so, what I've learned the most about podcasting is that humans, most people really want to help another person. You know, when I started on this journey, I was very disappointed in humanity. And I think after interviewing, 350 episodes have been released, but I've interviewed a lot more people than that. Um, People genuinely want to do good in the world. And that gives me hope, right? That gives me hope. And, but aside from that, it's just being a podcaster has opened up so many doors just because I've met so many amazing people. And when you're spending 30 to 30 minutes to an hour having a conversation with somebody and being curious about their life and who they are and things like that, you just develop really great relationships. So that's what I've really have enjoyed most about podcasting.
Wow, that's really great thing. And this also makes me really curious about guests that what are their life journeys, what what are the challenges that they face, and where they are now. This is
Right.
really great.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you've spoken about forgiveness. Why is it important, and how does it affect happiness?
Oh, it's a big thing. I always say if you're feeling anything, then peace in your heart, there's someone or something that you need to forgive, and usually it's yourself. Forgiveness. So what happens is something, let's just say, let's just use a relationship as an example. So you have two people in a relationship. One person does something to the other person. The other person feels they're hurt. So that person has builds a resentment toward the other person, right? So when you're holding on to a resentment toward another person or a situation, and I say situation because it could be a corporation, it could be a job, it could be, right, it could be something like that. But when you're holding on to a resentment, that's anger. Okay, so as long as you're holding on to that, you have zero chance of feeling any sort of happiness, because again, you can't be happy and angry at the same time, right? In any given moment, you can be happy, but you can't be angry at the same time you're happy, right? And so when that person comes up and you're feeling that bitterness, that's anger. And until you forgive them, you're going to feel that anger inside of you. And let me just make it clear that forgiveness is not saying that what they did is okay, right? You're not condoning someone's behavior. What you're saying is that your behavior